So hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Natasha and I'm the community manager at O1 Labs, and we have a lot of exciting news to share with you today during this call, which will last around 30 minutes. So let's take a quick look at the agenda and introduce our event speakers. So our head of marketing and community, Claire Carr, will introduce our special announcement today. And then our CEO, Evan Shapiro, and CTO, Isaac Meckler, will tell you more about the founder's vision and the journey so far. After that, our VP of Business Development and Operations, Emre Tekisel, will go deeper into some of our product use cases. And we'll also take a closer look at our product roadmap with Bijan Shoroki, our head of product. And finally, we'll finish off with how you can get involved with all of the exciting things we've got coming up in the next few months. So to kick off the event, I'll now hand you over to Claire, who will tell you a bit more about why we're here today.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. And yeah, thank you so much, Natasha. I realize that some of you, it's very early, and others, it's very late. So thank you for joining us. We do have some really big news to share today. Before we share it, I just want to give a little bit of background. So last year in 2019, we actually got sued by R3. And at that point, we decided to give up the Coda name so we could continue to focus on building our technology. The community has helped us tremendously in this process. Many of you participated in a survey, as well as one-on-one conversations at the end of 2019. And this gave us some really big insights. So just like with our technical and community challenges, you all gave your time and you helped us forge this new path. And with that, we're very excited and proud to introduce you to something that has been in development for over a year. So please meet Mina. We're very excited about Mina. It combines the technical simplicity of our work, referencing principles in mathematics and design, such as minimums and minimalism, with a friendly, approachable feeling. Mina sounds both like an innovative new technology, and it also sounds like the name of a good friend. The process of deciding on a new name was an important moment for us. It was a chance for us to take time and to really listen to our community and to understand what makes us special, and to commit to growing in a way that strengthens the community and preserves our values. Not just to grow fast and at all costs, but to really continue to return to who we are, what we stand for, and what makes us special and stand out. So in the process of finding the Mina name, we also identified 4 core values that were important to community members. And so we didn't just select a new name, but we really worked to distill this set of values for the Mina community to live by. These were the things we already saw community members doing, and they were the things we heard made our community special. But we had never really named them and put them on paper for everyone to see and read. As many of you know, any open source community has to be united by shared values. Sometimes these are implied and sometimes they're stated. But it really helps guide members on how to act, how to treat each other, and what to value. And we think that that's really important. Building a strong online community is really important to us, and we all know that online communities can be amazing places, or they can be really challenging places to be. And we want our community to be a positive place for everyone here. We hope that these defined values will help us build a foundation for a really strong open source community that others will want to join and tell their friends about, and that all of you will be proud to be a part of. And if you've been part of our testnet community, which I see so many of you who I've chatted with, and I know that you've been around for quite some time, you know that we're already living by these values. In our last 2 testnets, Pickles and Sandbox, we recognize the members of our community who demonstrate these values every day, and you can see their names here. Them and many other members like them are really the backbone of the community, and they represent what makes Mina special. So we'll continue to focus on our values and to build a strong culture for our open source community. And today I'd like to ask for your help in that work to continue to uphold these values and live by them every day. When we took a look at everything that Mina could be, we realized that we had really big ambitions, and everyone in our community also has very large aspirations for what Mina can do. We want to rebalance power dynamics, champion democratic values, and we're all interested in tackling some of the biggest challenges of our time related to centralization and the centralization of control and power. We knew that we needed to look different and in a way that matches our ambition. So the new Mina designs that you're seeing here, they're not just beautiful, they're really bold and visionary. And they set us apart from other crypto communities with their focus on technological details. So you can see like some great hash patterns in the background throughout, as well as many other nods to technology. But they're also combined with human elements like this set of hands that you see. Technology is built by and for people, right? It's a collaboration between person and machine. And Mina showcases this blend. Here you can see another example from the website and just how much it's changing and how much bolder it looks. Our Discord icon will also be changing, so please keep a lookout for the new Mina M. And Twitter and Medium will be bolder. It'll be easier to stop and recognize as you scroll through updates on your phone. And your emails, which go just to our community, will be a place to feel the vibrant, exciting designs of Mina. Mina is poised to continue its rapid growth and to stand out amongst other crypto projects with its values, bold design, and robust community. But the most important part of Mina is our vision for the future. So with that, I'd like to introduce Evan and Isaac, our co-founders and CEO and CTO, to tell you more about our founder's vision.
Hey everyone, thanks Claire and Natasha for kicking us off. Yeah, excited to be talking to everyone today. So just to start off, I wanted to kind of take everyone through a little bit of the history of O1 Labs and Coda Mina. Evan and I, this is kind of a silly picture. Evan and I, that's me on the left. I don't know, I'm a lot younger, I have different hair. Have known each other for a long time as teenagers, in high school, hanging out in the library, I guess. And we've since then, you know, always been friends, always been working on technology projects together, and even on crypto. So we were back then even working on crypto projects, you know, slacking off in school. That was really just kind of in the early days of just Bitcoin and, you know, the early altcoins that came out right out of Bitcoin. You know, that our kind of, I guess, close trust and, you know, relationship as friends has really, I think, shaped a lot of what we've been doing with O1 Labs and with Mina, previously Coda. Yeah, so you know, after going to school and you know, pursuing our own paths for a while, Evan and I both found ourselves in California, and we started working together more seriously on kind of side projects. Sorry about that. At the time, I was. Let's give it one second. Yeah, it's New York. At the time. It sounds like it. At the time, I was doing a PhD in cryptography at Berkeley, and Evan was researching machine learning, and you know, we realized that there was kind of a lot that that we could bring to the crypto space in terms of making snarks and verifiable computation. Really, you know, applying it to solve like the actual problems that were being faced. So eventually. We, you know, decided to start a company. That's me and that's Brandon, who probably a lot of you know from Discord, in our first office. You know, our vision around what we wanted Coda and Mina to be really started to cohere. And, you know, just to kind of make it super explicit, what is that vision? It's to try and use cryptography and cryptocurrency as a tool to help to build computer systems, to put people in control of their digital lives. Because, you know, so much of our interactions with computers are really not on our own terms. They're on the terms of the companies that create the programs that we're interacting with. And our mission, with Mina is in service of this vision to kind of build verifiable computing systems in service of that goal. So I want to run through kind of a concrete picture of how Mina fits into this broader vision, because I know things, when they get a little abstract, it can be hard to sort of see how does the day-to-day kind of fit into that. So imagine the following situation. Imagine you're a computer user. This is you at your desk, and you're on your browser. You're surfing the web. One thing that's really great is you can use an open source browser. So that means you can look at the code. If you're using Firefox or Chromium, you can look at the code and you can know exactly what that browser is doing. You can know it's not doing any funny business. But unfortunately, that verifiability or that kind of visibility into what the software is doing really ends at the boundary of your computer. So as soon as you start talking to servers, these little demons that you see here, you really have no idea what's going on the other end. They could be doing anything, and in fact they are. So what is really amazing about verifiable computation, and we'll get into sort of specifically how it works in Mina, is that it lets you take these demons and basically shrink them down, so that you can see exactly what they're doing using snarks, and you can then make demands of them because you can have an idea of what they're actually up to. So that's kind of the first idea of how verifiable computation can be used in service of this vision of putting people in control of their digital lives. And I will now kick it over to Evan, who's going to describe more specifically how this vision kind of comes to life in Mina.
Thanks, Izzy. So yeah, as Izzy said, here's where Mina comes into the picture. If we're going to do this, we're going to need a platform for snarks and the other latest cryptography. We'll need a place where collaboration can happen safely in like a digital world. And we'll need this whole technology to be accessible to everyone. So in other words, this is sort of like a cryptocurrency, but more of like a new kind of cryptocurrency, what we've done with Mina. So the dream here is to use this to build a cryptocurrency for an efficient, elegant, and fair future. Efficient because it's very succinct and it works on everyone's devices. In particular, it's not proof of work. With just a small proof, everyone can get full access to the chain. Elegant, the technology is very straightforward. It's I hope fairly understandable, especially versus the complexity we've been starting to see with other chains, while still solving the complicated problems in cryptocurrency in a very elegant, straightforward way. It's very democratic. We want to put users first. We want to take what we've done with Genesis so far and going forward, go even farther with that. So really trying to include everyone in this technology at the deepest levels, all the way down to operating the software. And we want this tech to be impactful. We want to keep in mind that if it is impactful, it should have a positive impact, and we should be thinking about that as early as possible, because tech at the end of the day is just a tool, and it's up to all of us to make sure that it moves in a good direction.
Hey everyone, great to be here. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to all of you all around the world. So despite this great vision, it's fair to say that there's many teams across cryptocurrency, starting with Bitcoin, that are going for similar goals and aspirations. So in that world, why Mina? Why does it matter? And we believe there's two reasons. The first one is that we believe Mina brings about a unique design that's going to become the winning blockchain design. So if you look at other projects across the space, fundamentally, everyone is making a trade-off between two main axes. One of them is about throughput or scalability, and then the other is about decentralization. Now, this is a hotly contested and unfortunately not an area with a lot of quantifiable objective metrics. But at the end of the day, if you look at any blockchain that's been around for a while, you tend to see this trade-off axis, where the more throughput you have, the less decentralization you have. And that is because of an economic relationship that each blockchain brings to the space. With Mina, however, what we've done with a succinct blockchain in that the chain always stays the same size and at a tiny size means that no matter how much throughput you put through the chain in terms of whether it's transactions or applications that you run on top of it, it always stays the same size, and hence it always brings about the same levels of decentralization. This also shows you the power of snarks, which not only enable this unique notion of a succinct blockchain, but also brings about Mina a second advantage, which is about snaps. So snaps, which stands for snark-powered applications, are the application framework that's running on top of Coda. And on top of what many of the blockchains enable with dApps, it brings a key unique benefit, which we think has been holding the space back for a while. And that is basically being able to use off-chain data in a private manner. So if you think about what you can do with that, you can think about, for example, a lending application that can use your credit score or financial information from the real world. You can do verifiable on-chain identity, or you can do private elections, or you can do universal oracles without having to do a partnership with every single data provider. So snaps really enable a whole swath of new unique use cases on top of what additional dApps on additional blockchains enable. But not only is this a vision, we're also starting to build real working applications on top of this. So one specific application that we're working on, which will be ready at a demo capacity in the coming months, is about proof of credit score. So this obviously goes into the DeFi or decentralized finance space, which, as I'm sure many of you know, has been grabbing a lot of mindshare in the crypto space lately. But unfortunately, one way or the other, when you look at it, most of the DeFi applications today are kind of like toys for rich crypto insiders, right? There's not a lot of mainstream audience that can benefit from these applications. That being said, today's toys end up being the real world-changing applications of tomorrow. So we recognize that huge benefit, but we think we can really cross that threshold by the power of snaps. So if you think of a proof of credit score type application, we can use snaps to prove one's credit score information or other relevant financial information for snaps on Coda to provide everyone with loans or lending or other types of financial services without having to constantly speculate or turn over your other holdings or your assets and over collateralize your loans. So soon you'll be seeing, and we'll be showing you more about, an application that basically gives anyone around the world a button, and use that button to link their existing credit score from existing vendors, such that you will be able to take a loan or make a loan application and show to the lender that your information passes a certain criteria without disclosing what that information is. So if you want to take a loan, basically you can say, hey, I have a credit score for those in the US and a couple other countries around the world that passes a criteria, but you don't know what my score is, which means that your information stays private and you no longer have to give a lot of data to other vendors and financial companies around the world. We're super excited by this vision and by what sort of products that will be built beyond this. And we ultimately think snaps living on Coda deliver on a winning blockchain design for the reasons that we covered. So with that, I'm going to transfer it over to Bijan to talk about our product roadmap.
Thank you, Emre. So before we talk about the product roadmap, I'd like to give you guys a bit of a context around the framework that we've had on thinking about the product roadmap. We think that there is this feedback loop that exists between decentralization and use cases. And the more decentralization you have, the more use cases that emerge, some of them Emre earlier discussed, and the more use cases we see, there's more desire to make the protocol more decentralized. And we initially started really paying attention to the decentralization part. What's interesting is within the decentralization part, there's also two parts. There's the protocol development that the O1 Labs team has really focused on in the last few years. And there's the node operators part that are kind of guaranteeing and making sure that the protocol is decentralized. With the Genesis program, we've been helping to ignite that engine and basically make it more active. And the more node operators become active, there's more protocol development that we have to do in order to guarantee the decentralization part of the protocol. So we think that right now we've reached a point where we've kind of put a little bit of the foundation on the decentralization part. And now we've moved, if you can go back to the previous slide for a second, we're now ready to pay more attention to the use cases side to enable this whole feedback system to work. And this is where the developers become very important. Having the right set of tools available for the developers to build applications and snaps for the users are very important. And as use cases become more stronger and there are more use cases, we think that this whole engine will start working. So now that we have an idea of like what the framework looks like at a high level, we can talk more about the actual strategy that we've had in mind. So we've really started off by setting up the foundation at first for a scalable decentralization, as Evan discussed. And we've now started paying attention to unlocking some of the use cases by enabling the developers, by providing the right set of toolkits for them. And after that, it really becomes a matter of scaling those use cases and scaling the toolkits that are available for the developers so the whole system can work. So with that in mind, now we can actually look at what the roadmap is going to be for the next few years. So right now we're at a point where we've had a couple of testnets that have really helped us validate some of our assumptions in terms of how the protocol works. We have one more testnet coming in November that are going to help us validate that our tokenomics are working as expected. We have a test world adversarial testnet coming later in the year as well. And then after that, we're ready for mainnet phase 1. And this is going to really deliver the succinct blockchain, the promise of snaps as we discussed. The node operators will be able to contribute to the decentralization of the protocol. The Genesis program members will be running their block production operations. And from the beginning, we will have the transfer of assets available as well. And then after that, we'll start paying more attention to developer toolings that we think are very important to enable the developers to build snaps on top of Mina protocol. Enhanced performance, such as increasing the TPS and increasing the number of nodes in our protocol is very important. And composable snaps, we think is going to be a really fascinating idea to enable all kinds of new set of use cases to happen. And the Snap Developer Program is something that's in the works right now to enable the developer community to have everything they need, the resources that they need to build snaps on top of Mina. And then after that, once we think that we're at a point where the needs of the developer community is met sufficiently, at least in the early phases, now we can start focusing more on products and features that enable the true scaled usability of the protocol. And this really includes the mobile and web full nodes and on-chain protocol treasury that allows the protocol to really operate on its own independently in a very decentralized way. So that's the product roadmap. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to pass it back to Natasha.
Thank you so much, Bijan, and a big thank you to all of our community members who've been part of this journey with us. It's just been amazing to watch the community grow and to help us build the Mina blockchain. And also a big warm welcome to any newcomers as well to the Mina community. Here are some ways that you can get involved and learn some more about Mina. So we've got lots of events coming up in the next few months, and here are just some of them. We have the ZK at Home event on October 6th, where Isaac will be going into more detail about Mina's pickle snark, so don't miss that. We'll also have the ZK Privacy Summit on October 19th, and that's hosted by Dystopia Labs. And Mina will also be at the Futurist Conference on November the 11th. Now, these are all free events, so do sign up to learn more about Mina. And also keep an eye on our Twitter page as well for more announcements about upcoming events. And here are some more ways you can get involved as well with Mina. So Genesis, as many of you may know, is a special program to onboard Mina's Genesis founding members ahead of our mainnet launch. Now, these members will be the backbone of the network and will receive a distribution of 66,000 tokens to stake with and also to participate as block producers. So we currently have around 140 Genesis founding members so far, and that means we've got up to 850 grants still available. So there's still plenty of opportunity to join the program, and we're recruiting Genesis founding members on a rolling basis. So check out our website for more details and also to sign up. And as Bijan mentioned, we also have our upcoming adversarial testnet, which will be called Test World. So in Test World, you can earn rewards for finding critical bugs and just to help us push the boundaries of the network to make Mina as secure as possible before mainnet. So go to minaprotocol.com/adversarial to sign up for updates on that. And again, as Bijan mentioned, we also have a Snaps developer program in the pipeline too. So stay tuned for updates on that. But ultimately, you know, a huge thank you to the community. We really appreciate everything that you've done so far to help us grow the community. And now we need your help again to help us spread the word about Mina. So we've taken on board all of your comments from surveys and calls since last year. And we've published a letter today on behalf of the community. And this highlights everything we've learned from your feedback. So please show your support for Mina and co-sign the letter by clapping on Medium. And remember, you can clap up to 50 times, so every clap counts. So please do go ahead and read the letter and show us some support there. And also, if you could like and retweet the letter on Twitter as well, just to show your support, that would be amazing. And if you aren't already following us on Twitter, please make sure you do that as well. And finally, we will be hosting a Telegram AMA on October 9th. And this will be to answer all of your questions about Mina and the road ahead. And I know many of you are already on our Discord server, but please do join us on our Telegram group as well, as you won't want to miss the Telegram AMA. And also just take a quick look at our Mina subreddit as well. We'll have something fun later there today for the whole community to take part in. So that's our subreddit, which is Mina Protocol. And that brings our event to a close today. Thank you again so much for all of your support. Community is really at the heart of Mina, and we're so grateful for each and every one of you for being part of our community. So if you do want to continue the celebrations, as always, please join us over on our social channels. That's Discord, Telegram. Send us a tweet on Twitter. And thank you again so much. Thank you for joining us today as well. And we will see you all next week at the AMA.